In 5 minutes or less, I'm going to tell you everything that you need to know to get started in PvP. The first thing that you want to avoid is to start rated games without knowing the information in this video. Do not be that guy. So the first thing we're going to go over real quick is the equalization in PvP. How does gear, how does stats work, how does all that stuff work? Okay, very simple. When you open your PvP menu right here, which is this screen right here, you're gonna have stats. You have 1250 stats that you can use, whether you're level 60, whether you're level 50, whether you're level 30, because you can PvP at that level and create. Your level doesn't matter, none of that matters. The only thing that matters are these skill points that you have, or these stat points right here, and these skill points here. That's it. Everything else is normalized. Much like other PvP games, wins revolve around CCs or crowd control. If you're going to take anything away from this video, it's this next section. Huge shout out to Lin-O for allowing me to use his footage for the following CC section. If you want to hear a longer, more detailed explanation of the CC mechanics, he's got a great video out on his channel that I'll link in the description below. To keep this simple and easier to understand, I'm going to organize this into levels. In Lost Ark, there are 3 levels of CC and 3 levels of CC protection. Level 1 is the stagger CC. Within this level, there are 2 types of staggers. The first one is a soft stagger that will only register if the target is not in a skill or attack animation. The second one is a hard stagger that will still register regardless of a skill or an attack animation. When a target is staggered for over 3 seconds, they will be immediately grounded. You can tell that this takes place when you see the scales icon appear over the target's head. Level 2 is the knock up or down CC. This CC will knock up, knock back, or down a target. Targets can be juggled a total of 4 times before receiving CC immunity. Level 3 is what we call a hard CC. This CC comes in a variety of forms: freeze, earthquake, stun, to name a few. Players will gain a 7-second immunity after being hard CC'd. You could track this as they will have a blue bar above their heads showing the duration of this immunity. Now let's talk about protection to those CCs, or in other words, super armor levels. Level 1 super armor gives you protection to level 1 CCs, all staggers including hard staggers. Level 2 super armors give you protection to level 2 CCs, which include all knockups and downs. This super armor can be clearly seen as the player using a level 2 super armor skill will have a yellow outline around them. Level 3 super armors give you protection to level 3 CCs or hard CCs. These super armors are pretty much universally only applied during your spacebar dash skill and when using your awakening skill. There are actually a few more instances of getting level 3 super armors on select skills, but to keep it general, dash and awakening skill. Typically, most classes will have 1 to 2 level 2 super armors while having 1 to 2 hard CCs. Some have more, some have less. You can imagine how significant this factor is when it comes to the balance in the meta rank. Next, we have field division, or FOV for short. It's important to know that the FOV for each team is not at the same angle. In fact, they're perpendicular to each other. As you can see here, when my opponents are to the left or right of my screen, on their screen, I am either above or below them. Utilizing this will be extremely important when climbing the ranks because you can catch opponents off guard or literally hit them from off their screen with some classes. This leads me to the next important section, which is positioning and map control. When you begin your game, the arena will look like it's going either diagonally left or diagonally right. If we use diagonally right, for example, the left side is considered to be the high side, while the right side is considered to be the low side. Your opposing team will always see the opposite. The right side would be their high, while the left is their low. In order to have the advantage, your goal is to try and always keep the opposing teams to the left or right of your screen. When starting a match, the ideal play is to take the high side of the map. If both teams do this, then the fight starts on even footing with no FOV advantage for each team. If the opposing team runs to the middle of the map, then you will have the advantage of being on top of their screen while having them to the right of yours. Starting the match having one player take the low side can be a gamble play. If the opposing team all take the high side aggressively, then you can engage them in the most advantageous position, which is below on their screen, left on yours. However, if they are not aggressively pushed up, you will be at an inferior position as they'll be at the top of your screen while you'll be on their left, giving them double the view. There's one other thing that you'll need to know if you want to be able to PvP efficiently, and that is to know every single class's kit. Being a game of trades, if you don't know what your opponent is actually doing, it'll be extremely difficult to win. And again, don't get discouraged if you're getting absolutely wrecked in the beginning, because this game has such a high entry barrier. I promise you, once you get the hang of it, it's absolutely amazing. This is probably one of the most entertaining games to play or watch when it comes to PvP. One last thing, guys, if you are looking for PvP builds, if you go to the 1HP Discord and go to the Lost Ark Guides section, I've got the meta Grandmaster builds for every single class here, thanks to Typhoon. Shout out to him. And we will be continuing to keep this updated regularly. And finally, huge shout out to Doctra, Bozai, Irrational, and everyone else that's been really supporting me on Twitch. I really appreciate you guys. Love you guys. I'll see you in the next one.